look, I'll kind of start it here. Bruni, we'll go to you first, then we'll go to Will. This game, I, to me, spread points are kind of weird in this one because this is a rivalry game. It doesn't, to me, matter how good Oklahoma is or how good Texas is. You kind of just have to throw a little. It's kind of those games you have to throw the records out the window to a certain extent. Oklahoma's got a really good defense. Offensively, they're still trying to figure things out. Obviously, at the quarterback position, Texas gets Quinn Ewers back. Sarkisian has been kind of vocal that Quinn's the guy. They still want to work Arch in. What's kind of just your big takeaway of this game? I mean, we don't need a 45-minute discussion on it, but what's kind of maybe your big takeaway of this game? Maybe some key points that you want to see.
Yeah, I feel like I've watched a lot of Oklahoma games. I remember I bet on them week 1. And also their offensive coordinator I'm fairly close with is Seth Luttrell. He was the head coach at North Texas for, my entire college career and beyond that. So I've,
Don't
talked
mess
to him
with
on the.
him.
Yeah, no, do
You
not
don't
mess
want
with
to
him.
mess with him.
Let's just say when I was young in college asking him questions, I was shaking because he could I'm one of like 3 people covering the team and he could just rip my head off. But with that being said, Seth Luttrell and Oklahoma's offense we know is limited. They made the quarterback change. I think that helps, especially with the offensive line question marks they have. I'm interested to see how they do against this Texas front, which I respect. And, Texas is just the more talented team here. I mean, this is not groundbreaking stuff. Texas should be favored significantly, but at the same time, I go into this game without my respect for Michigan is fairly low at this point. So I don't value that win as much. And, on the road against Michigan to dominate that game the way they did, I don't, hold it in contempt as much as maybe I should.
Yeah.
I think this Oklahoma team is better than Michigan. I think, like you said, rivalry game. I think Oklahoma has what it takes to at least slow them down enough, even with Quinn Ewers coming back, to make it, to keep it within spreads. So I think it'll be closer.
Yeah, I think it's be close. I mean, Oklahoma, I really do like their defense. They caused problems for Nico in Tennessee a couple weeks ago, but we've also kind of seen that maybe that offense isn't as prolific. And we obviously, Bruni, I don't think you know this. Every Tuesday night, we do a call-in show. We had a distressed Tennessee fan call in for about 10 minutes and just ramble. So real quick, wanted to get this. TriStar says, I used to work in Denton and go to this great Mexican restaurant on 280 next to Sports Clips. I don't know how big Denton, Texas is, but Bruni was there for a little bit. That's oddly specific there, TriStar.
No, I'm thinking of 280 next to Sports Clips, where I've probably been. There's a lot of different ones. Now, if you worked in Denton, my favorite one is Sabrositas. So if TriStar knows that one, that's the best Mexican restaurant I've had outside of San Antonio. Sabrositas in Denton, Texas.
Would you hear that little flair right there?
I heard it.
That was nice.
Nobody knows that I'm Hispanic, so it catches people so by surprise.
Ken Hendricks goes, does Bernie, I guess is your name now,
Yes.
does he know my buddy Alex Auerbach, North Texas, #small world? I mean, it's not like it's a community college, Kev. I'm not
like
sure.
40,000 people. It's one of the 4th biggest school in Texas.
Anyways, but to your point, TriStar says Big 8 versus Southwest Conference, Red River shootout. Oklahoma pulls off the upset. Trust their defense. I like Oklahoma's defense. I do think, and I kind of agree with Bruni here, I think the talent's going to win out. I think this Texas team is very, very good. I will say this, my biggest concern was they lost a lot of offensive weapons last year. You hoped, and through the portal, what they were to do is to reload. Quinn Ewers, to me, didn't have the high upside of the weapons that he had last year. Where obviously, we watched that the other night when Kansas City played the Saints and what Xavier Worthy is. But they have some guys, and that offense can click, it can move. I just don't know if Oklahoma can score enough to be able to keep up in this game. And I think eventually Texas is going to be able to rattle off a comfortable win. That's kind of my pick for this. Will, any thoughts that maybe we didn't touch on with this one?
Yeah, I think this is too many points. I think Oklahoma's defense is too good. Obviously, can they score with Texas? Is going to be the question, because I think Texas is that good on offense that they can just kind of score at will. We know Oklahoma's defense, they're aggressive, they're big, they're fast, they're physical, but they've obviously had some problems. Auburn hit them up for 338 yards through the air, but obviously they scored the biggest touchdown that Auburn threw that day. So can they create turnovers? Can they make it tough on Quinn Ewers, who's going to be coming back from injury? I think is really the questions there. But I like Oklahoma's ability to run the ball on offense. Hawkins is a weapon with his legs. They can create problems. I don't think they'll win this game, but I think they keep it within that 2 touchdown spread.
My question becomes Texas offense kind of, it's a lot of people think of it as being as prolific as it could be, but were they holding something back in the Mississippi State game? Like, have they been holding something back in recent games?
Yeah.
That's going to be kind of a theme for a couple games this weekend, not LSU Ole Miss. Those guys have been battle tested, but Texas in particular, they start the game with touchdown, fumble, punt, and you're like, okay, like at some point you get it going. They close the game, scoring 3 straight touchdowns, but it's an offense that has to prove it to me a little bit still. And I think we've seen when teams that haven't played anybody go against, their first real good team, I think it takes them a second.
I think it takes them a second, to your point. And you obviously have to look at strength of schedule. Right now, Texas is in top 5 in the nationally in multiple per game categories. 5th in total yards, 519. 4th in just points allowed, 9.4 points allowed per game. 2nd in yards allowed at 227 even. And then 5th in rush yards gained at 266.8. Bernie, these are 2 guys that obviously you and I kind of became well acquainted with, not personally, not in the biblical sense by any means, but more of in the sense that we, kept tabs on them. Ryan Wingo and Colin Simmons have been per PFF 2 of the top rated freshmen, the highest graded true freshmen through week 5 through per PFF. So it's not just the veteran guys. Like, they've got young guys that are contributing right now. I like Texas to win this game, Will. I think you put up some great points. At the end of the day, this is a rivalry game, fellas, and it really could go either way. Any final thoughts from both of you?
No, I mean, I think, Colin Simmons is really, really good. That's why the bidding kept going up on him. He is a really, really good player.
Justin says, can Will go a day without mentioning Auburn? I don't think so. Gavin says, he is taking Texas.
My question to Justin is, can y'all go one show without mentioning Georgia Tech in the comments?
Ooh, well, it is what it is. Justin says Texas by 21, so he's taking that 14 points. And then Don says take Oklahoma and the points. I think it's gonna be an interesting game. It's gonna be fun. TriStar says Pro Football Focus is a joke. PFF isn't real. Look, it's a good. Bernie, I know we both use it. It's something good to utilize. It can't be the North Star. It cannot be your guiding star to how you base your college football opinions.
Yeah, no, it's a tool for me. It's if a number says this, I mean, then PFF says this, and then your eyes tell you this, then you can believe something. Like, it's just a tool, and I think you referencing in this way, saying Colin Simmons has been really good, and saying his PFF score is high, like, that's not breaking news. Colin Simmons is really, really good.
He's good. He's a good football player.
How are you looking at PFF? I thought that was an exclusive partnership with a different
certain
podcast.
program. Yeah, Bernie has no idea the beef that this podcast has with multiple different people, and he's just walking into this, clean and doesn't know.